Welcome. This NDE true story will cover real life-changing areas and transformation. My NDE visit to heaven took place on January 9, 2010, driving down a steep jungle road between Panama and Costa Rica. But first, I must give you a gift about a miracle 47 years prior, in 1978, on Tamarack Street, near San Fernando High School, across the street from where Richie Valens played La Bamba in his movie. The gift initiated as a recurring dream, where I found myself on a platform in front of a multitude of people. This platform dream kept repeating many nights, night after night, of me on a platform in front of masses of people as far as my eyes could see. This 1978 platform dream was manifested 47 years later in 2025, in the form of 24/7 Empowerment, the world's first non-profit empowerment platform to revive your soul and fund your life. I was 18 years old at the time of my nightly platform dream, with long hair riding a chopper motorcycle in those days. But this recurring dream sparked spiritual thoughts and questions. Being 18 at the time, I imagined the dream was about my rock and roll band making it big. But that platform dream also sparked good versus evil spiritual experiences which made me think further. A few weeks later I came home and I had a really strong vision. Expensive fancy cars, huge amazing houses, tons of money, beautiful women, yet highlighted with a powerful penetrating question, and then what, Joseph? Then what? As if I would have all those things, but, and then what? Or does that stuff really matter? This vision, which was preceded by my recurring platform dream, was so alive and profound that I immediately dropped to my knees, and I asked God to tell me why I was having these experiences. Immediately, Jesus Christ comes into my room and right away my tears started popping from my eyes because of a profound connectedness, a oneness. The word that I relate to that feeling most easily is love, yet free of worldly jealousies, fears of abandonment and the pains associated with the human experience of love. So in that moment with Jesus I experienced love without the negativities. Really what I experienced was oneness, connectedness, an absolute oneness with everything and everybody. And then the vision changed. I saw one tree of life with many different fruits on it. This tree of life was rooted and grounded in a river of light. It was a river, so I look at water, but that river had light or energy in it. You could see the light sparkling in the river. So the tree of life was rooted and grounded in the river of life. Also, the lessons that I received from Jesus were not heard in my ears. I heard Jesus in my spirit silently. I asked him, "Where were you all my life? I wanted you all my life," and without him moving his lips I felt his silent voice in my spirit, "I've been with you always. I'm with you always." And then I asked him, "Why me?" Tears came down his eyes. I didn't understand at the time, but many years later I understood that he was crying for me, because I did not understand the amazingness of who I truly am. He knew that I was stuck in the false inadequacy that the world exposed me to, and that I had zero understanding of my birthright power beyond measure. As God's Son, made in the image and likeness of the great I Am, creator of everything and everybody in all heaven and earth, then all of a sudden I see this big light coming down vertically, and next thing I know it's coming at me horizontally. I never saw the curve, and as this light got closer I saw that it was the figure of a man. Ultimately, I saw that it was a father, but when he got closer in a white robe and with a big book in his hand, I thought it was an elderly man. But then as he got close I saw that it was Jesus, like a father figure, no longer like 33 years old. So, my 1978 platform dream, and then what vision and my visit from Jesus are, well, what really set the stage for my near-death experience many years later. Also, in 1981, world-renowned Reverend Vicki Jameson, whom I had never met, picked me out of a crowd of thousands of people and prophesied a song about details of my life into the future. Her prophetic song came to me. Fruition was brought to my remembrance in a Costa Rica church, 25 years after the 1981 prophecy at Bethel Christian Center in Riverside, where she prophesied that people here will help. They'll finance you, you will see. The Lord will say, "Go," and you will say, "I will go." And then she began to say, "This guy's going to Latin America, he's going to be financed to help lots of people." Vicki Jameson's prophecy was confirmed 25 years later. I purchased 154 acres of ocean views, waterfalls, and rivers in Costa Rica, and we were building resort communities valued at $500 million. Now we approach my 7:30 a.m. January 9th, 2010, near-death experience. So we're driving down a very steep dirt road, on our way to my properties, heading through the rainforest, and, well, my friend's brakes went out completely as we drove down that steep dirt road. Also, the van just picked up speed instantly, and there was a cliff on the right side, and a left-hand turn was coming up. So, in other words, we were about to go off the cliff and die. So I told Gabriel, who was driving and, died in the accident, hit the little mountain on the left or we will go off the cliff and die. So we hit the mountain on the left, and I immediately died because I got squashed trying to save my fiancée. I grabbed her and I became her shock absorber. Immediately I see absolute energy everywhere and all around. I did not see a tunnel or just light. I saw profound energy. I saw everything and everybody as energy, including myself, time, and space. Again, I experienced the same oneness as I did in my 1978 visitation. Try to understand that I was actually experiencing omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience. Think for a moment that everything, everybody, time, and space are all part of the same oneness that God designed us in, and that we are one in His connectedness in all heaven and earth. There is no time, everything is now, and there is no space or ignorance. I received thousands of answers given to me before I could even complete a single question. So, when I stood in that true essence, I understood deeply that all things work together, and that everything and everybody is part of God's oneness synergy. The gold, copper, zinc, magnesium, the nitric oxide from rain and thunder, all of it comes down into the earth and feeds the cows and the vegetation, which then, feeds everything else. Gravity, air, all of it, your friends, your enemies, your family, your job, everything is one. It's all related. There is no disconnection. Remember, I talked about omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. Time does not exist. There is no past, present, or future. Study and learn that time was invented by man. But in the spirit, there is no time. Everything is now. God is the I am, not the I was, not the I'm going to be someday. At this point, it's appropriate to mention that contrary to popular belief, and contrary to religious and church emphasis, we are all made 100% in the image and likeness of the great I Am, and we owe it to ourselves to see, feel, think, and live in our birthright power beyond measure. Those of you that know that Jesus came to this world to show a simple path to oneness in God, and you know that his own religion put him to death because Jesus was a threat against his religion's greed for power, money, and control. And also, those of you that know that the religious and political structures of his time persecuted, tortured, and did everything in their power to kill his simple message of oneness with God and his true believers. You also know that in 330 AD, the Roman Emperor Constantine cloned a false message of Jesus Christ. He excluded many holy manuscripts and compiled a few manuscripts into what he called the Bible. He corrupted and buried the true message that Jesus came to share to make you and I one with our Heavenly Father into a very powerful and very corrupt controlling government known as the Roman Catholic Church. Look at the diabolic rapes, killings, and evil deeds that churches and religions are no different and only serve their own needs and wants. But the evil pillars of civilizations throughout millennia, like kingdoms, religions, churches, temples, mosques, synagogues, corporations, and so forth, must suppress and minimize our core essence into a false inadequacy so they can maintain their position in power. So, allow me to share a few short personal experiences from when I was preparing for ministry. My first senior pastor at Pacoima's Evangelism Today outreach, well, he was actually removed from the church because he was beating his wife and, cheating with the church secretary. Then, my second pastor at Sylmar, California's Solid Rock Christian Center ended up being sent to prison for statutory rape, and honestly, the stories just kept coming for years. Long story short, both I and many of my friends were really traumatized by church, and it took, 4 decades for God to restore me, to help me walk once again in his simple oneness of power beyond measure. This world's grip will end, and our true power and calling will activate the instant we reach out to God and connect with non-religious believers to step into God's simple message to see, think, feel, and live in the image and likeness of the great I Am, in full power and dominion. In 100% of our birthright power beyond measure, till we come to the knowledge of the Son of God, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. Imagine how the world would be if all churches taught and lived the simple truth of Christ. Okay, back to my 2010 NDE revelations. As I was still in heaven and just before I came back into my body, God again showed me his 1978 repeating platform dream, and how it would play a role in people's lives. As soon as I understood how all things work together for good in God's sacred oneness of everything and everybody, I heard voices. Get out of the car, Joseph. Joseph, come back. I heard multiple languages. Get out of the car, Joseph. And all of a sudden, I'm in my body again, unable to move and feeling extreme pain from being squashed, smashed, unable to help my good friend as I watched Gabriel Corrales die before my eyes. I couldn't even press his button, his seatbelt, to set him free. Depending when you listen, it's 2025. And I am inviting you to see the manifestation of Christ's 1978 visitation and platform dream. I formed a non-profit personal empowerment teams, Incorporated, in accordance to everything I shared with you in this video. It has twofold synergies to accomplish our goals: 24/7 empowerment teams with real in-person and online support teams to bring you to your birthright power beyond measure, in God's image and likeness to have dominion and power in life, purpose, recovery, work, health, and more. You can check it out at www.youtube.com/@247empowerment. It's the world's first nonprofit empowerment platform to revive your soul and fund your life at 247empowerment.me. In closing, this is a brand new channel, so please like, subscribe, share, and comment to help this channel get started. And sign up in the description below.